Hello guys, and welcome to another Honkai Star Rail video. Alright, so it's time for another Memory of Chaos gameplay footage video. I pretty much used the same team as last time, so I'm not going to go over the details and waste your time. I'm just going to go straight into it. Alright, I hope you guys enjoy the gameplay. Alright, so we start the fight out with Fu Xuan's technique, and we initiate the fight with Serval's technique. Got the Trotter again. We start off with Silverwolf's weakness implanting. And I use Serval's skill, obviously, for additional shock damage. And this time, the Trotter actually takes increased damage from character skills and ultimates, so this time around I'd focus these Trotter with Zele's skill to get the Resurgence proc. And whenever you kill the Trotter, you also apply some sort of debuff. It increases the damage dealt to all the enemies on the field. It's similar to one of Welt's traces. It's not damage. I mean, it is damage amplification, but it's not defense reduction. So you can actually stack those two debuffs on top of each other, which is what I'll be doing with Silverwolf here. Okay, use Fu Xuan's skill for the ultimate. I procced it a little bit late there. I wanted to use it immediately before the Ascended enemy used her attack, but it's okay. Just a little bit energy inefficiency. And I think here we just auto, and then get the Resurgence buff, kill off the last enemy. So that was a 0 cycle clear for the first half, which is pretty nice. The memory turbulence definitely helped out for sure. The damage amplification definitely boosted up my Zele's damage. So once again, we're going to kill off the Trotter, get its vulnerability debuff. Unfortunately, I don't have any skill points here, so I just basic attack. Kind of a waste of the Resurgence proc, but that's what happens when you don't manage your skill points. Also, Zele just missed her crit there, I just realized that. Bit unfortunate. So I believe we keep focusing down the Silvermane Guard. We implant the weakness now. Apply the shock. Basic attack. Okay, it's woken up. I think he summons the soldiers. Alright, and at this point, I don't think my Zele has enough damage on her E, so we focus the Trotter once again. Got a bit unlucky there. I think one of the crits missed, so we actually ended up not killing the Trotter in one hit. Usually, Zele is able to with this week's memory turbulence. Okay, we activate the E, the Matrix again on Fu Xuan. And our ultimate, this is going to trigger the counter attack on the Silvermane Guard, which is fine. And now we can additionally use Serval's ultimate for some AoE damage. There's the vulnerability. Here I try to kill the Silvermane Guard with the E. Unfortunately, it's not quite enough. And I believe I decided to save my ultimate here instead of trying to go for the Resurgence proc. Because here we're going to defense break the Ascended enemy. And then use Zele's ult shortly here. Apparently not yet. Fu Xuan getting very close to dying. And she also has that wind shear debuff on her, so I pretty much have to finish this fight. And she's also getting focused down. I pretty much have to finish this fight within this next couple of turns. So we go for a Zele ult here. Otherwise, Fu Xuan's just going to die to the wind shear tick. And then I believe I go for that. Resurgence proc, and we kill her off. There you go. Came in clutch, but we did it. Alright, on to the second half. Start off with two Ting Young techniques. A Bailu technique, and then we initiate the fight, of course, with him. Oh, actually, we use Payla's technique this time. That's right, because I remember my Imbiber Lunane is Eidolon 2, so the extra substitute skill point doesn't really matter that much. I would rather have the defense debuff from Payla. So we focus down the Centaur on the right. Chain it immediately into his ultimate, and you'll see here shortly what I mean by his Eidolon 2. He gets 3 of his substitute skill points, so having that extra substitute skill point, it might help in some situations, but essentially it's not nearly as efficient as just applying the additional defense penetration from Pela. And there's her ultimate for even more defense penetration. As you can see on the top there, the enemies have 2 defense penetration debuffs and the vulnerability debuff from the Trotter. So it is a lot of increased damage, making this week's Memory of Chaos a lot easier and faster to clear. Alright, I think we are going to kill that off, and now we focus the Centaur to the left. A little bit inefficient since I can't hit the, what do you call it, the Trotter, but it's fine. Attack buff. We save the ultimate here as Imbiber Lunane's energy is almost full, so he'll get his ultimate immediately anyways. And unfortunately here, I thought I could kill off the Centaur, but we didn't, so we end up wasting another cycle and also Ting Yung's energy, but it's okay. Alright, there's Yang Qing. We start off with Pela ult for Defense Shred, Imbiber Lunane's ultimate for damage and the advance forward, and immediately we use Ting Yung's ultimate to give him a damage boost, as well as charge up a portion of his energy for his ultimate. $112k damage, not too bad on a single target, too. Alright, he summons his swords. Pela's getting very close to dying here, and Bailu doesn't have her ultimate, and I don't really want to be using Bailu's skill to heal. She does have her revive, so I'm not too worried at this point. Just chain Imbiber Lunane's attacks. Yang Qing's already at 21%. Oh, it gets really close here. If Bailu is the one that dies, then our run would have been bricked, but luckily she's still alive. And she will get her ultimate here after she autos. I immediately use it just for safety. Alright, here we go. They tanked it all. Bailu's still alive, tanks it. The Invigoration defense or damage reduction is really helpful here. And 1 HP or 1%, Pela finishes him off. And there you go. That is the Memory of Chaos run. Finished it within 25 cycles left. Alright, let me quickly go over my characters and their gear. This is my Ting Yung. Her stats. Light Cone is the same. Her traces. Relics. Eidolons, unfortunately, still at Eidolon 0. Alright, moving on to Silver Wolf. These are her stats. Light Cone. Traces. I started working on them a bit. They're almost maxed out now, thanks to the double drop event that happened recently. These are her relics. And of course, she's at Eidolon 0. Next is Imbiber Lunane. These are his stats. You eventually work on giving him more crit damage. That's his biggest issue right now. But that means I have to work on his relics. This is his Light Cone. Traces are finally maxed out, once again, thanks to the double drop event for traces. Relics, still not the optimal set, but we'll get there eventually. I've been taking a break from relic grinding, so I don't burn out from the game. So he's still using the exact same gear as last time. As for Eidolons, of course, you guys already know. He's at Eidolon 2. Alright, next is Pela. These are her stats. Light Cone, still using a temporary Light Cone. Unfortunately, I did not have enough time and resources to grind a new Light Cone. I was more focused on upgrading characters' traces rather than building a new Light Cone for Pela. These are her traces. Light Cones, or relics. Eidolons, she's at Eidolon 4. Alright, moving on to Zile. These are her stats. Still having an issue with her crit rate, but that will be fixed. I don't know when, but it's quite difficult. I have to get the right relic rolls, and yeah, we all know how tough that will be. Light Cone. Traces are finally almost maxed out. I don't think the last point in her basic attack is really worth it. There are only some very rare situations where you will be using Zile's basic attack, so that's why I left it at level 5. These are her relics. Still roughly the same. Just need a piece with above average crit rate, and that should solve the crit rate issue that I have with her. Eidolons, she's at Eidolon 0. Alright, now it's Serval's turn to shine. These are her stats. Light Cone. Traces, which I haven't touched in a couple of months already. Her relics. Eidolons, she's at Eidolon 0. Alright, now it's Bailu's turn. These are her stats. Her Light Cone. Traces. Relics. And her Eidolon, of course, is Eidolon 0. And last but definitely not least is Fu Xuan. These are her stats. Light Cone. Traces, which still need to be worked on, but I didn't have the time and resources during the double drop event. Wanted to max out my older characters first, my damage dealers, but we'll get to her eventually. Relics. Also needs some improvement. And finally, Eidolons, she's at Eidolon 0. Alright guys, well that's going to be it for this Honkai Star Rail video. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next Honkai Star Rail video. Peace.
Wanna spar? Disappear.